Hi, I decided last minute to do a fantasy romance vlog. So hi, I'm Heather from booktubes. I never do the right intro for vlogs. Whatever. So this was kind of a last minute addition to my schedule because I'm really in the mood for fantasy romance. This time of year is fantasy romance season for me, but that doesn't mean I always actually read it. It's just like a mental thing. But sometimes I'm not in the mood to read it, but I am. So I'm going to do this vlog. These are my potential TBR books. I would expect to read about 3, so if I get through more than that, it's probably because DNFing is happening. So ideally, we aren't getting to all of these because ideally, we're reading and loving all the books that we pick up, but this is what I'm thinking. So I have That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Human by Kimberly Lemming. I have it from the library. This is Mead, Mishaps number 3. I usually give these books 4 stars. I enjoy them. They don't take themselves too seriously. This one I've had to wait on because it was not in Kindle Unlimited and it was released I think in April or May of this year. So I've been waiting for a while and I finally have it from the library and I'm very excited about it. Should be a fun time. And then the next one is The Phoenix King. This one is an Indian inspired romance. I keep putting it off, the hold off at the library, but I think I'm ready. So this one is she's the queen or the princess or something and he's an assassin, but he works for her. I think it is going to be her guard. It sounds really good. It's just long. And of course, an author I haven't tried before. Next one is The Fate of Wrath and Flame by K.A. Tucker. I was talked into this by Robin at Paperbacks and Planners, and I have hyped myself up to go ahead and read it in November. So I originally had it as one of my possibilities for my mystery sources vlog, but it didn't get picked by the spinner wheel. So I decided to read it anyways in this fantasy romance vlog. This is a girl from our world going to a fantasy world. Then I have Sinner's Isle by Angela Montoya. This just released on Halloween and I shockingly got it from the library. Shocking! I was flabbergasted when I clicked on it and it was available. Nobody had it checked out. So I snapped that sucker up so incredibly fast. And I'm really excited because I thought I'd have to wait quite a few months before getting my grubby little hands on it. But no, I got it release week. This has never happened to me before. I'm very excited about it. This is a pirate and a witch. And then I have Fear the Flames, which is on Kindle Unlimited. This one is long, so if I read another long fantasy book and don't DNF it, this one might not happen, but I really do want to like at least pick it up because it's been front of mind since like July. And so I just want to pick it up and know whether I love it or not, right? And I have Three Kings by Freydis. This is a witch and a Selkie and a regular human, maybe. And it is a trans man and 2 other men, so it's 3 kings. It's shorter and it's also like very November themed. It was inspired by Taylor Swift's Evermore album. So I must read it in November, so I think it will definitely be in the vlog, I want to say. And then lastly, I bought it by Thorns, and this is a Why Choose that I specifically got from Izzy at Happy For Now and Shay at Shay Geeks Out. They Betty read it and they both have been raving about it. This is Why Choose Fae Beauty and the Beast retelling that they have just said is excellent, and it's very steamy, and I feel like I really need a steamy fantasy romance in here because depending on which ones I actually read or not, I think a lot of them might lean more heavily into the fantasy rather than the fantasy romance, and I'd like to balance that out with some other ones. So those are my potentials. That's what I'm thinking. We'll see what, if any, we'll see what I get to or not. But I definitely, okay, listen, I definitely want to read That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Human and Sinner's Isle because I have them both from the library and I want to read them on this checkout. I don't want to have to try and get them again or anything. So that's what I'm thinking. I think those are definites. We'll see what else happens. All right, that's it. Thanks so much for watching. This is not the end of the video, so that doesn't make sense. All right, okay, bye. So right now I'm 25% into That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Human, and she is so annoying. She is so annoying. She's like trying to die. Because how dare she be with another dragon? You got him to bring you here. You drugged him. All of this is I'm so annoyed with her. It's all her own fault, other than originally being taken by a dragon. And she's not communicating. She's not doing anything smart. She's not doing anything smart. She's not talking to this man. She's just trying to die. I hate it here. Hi, I have an update for you. So I did end up DNFing that time I got drunk and saved a human. 33%. This should have been a no-brainer 4-star book for me, okay? I have given the 2 previous full lengths 4 stars, and the longer Christmas novella I have given 5 stars, loved that one. And then her shorts I have not liked, and those have been her most recent releases, and I did not like this, and I'm worried that my time in the sun of Kimberly Lemming might be over, because this annoyed the ever living heck out of me. Like, I'm so annoyed. Here's part of the thing, okay? We have a reveal that we, the reader, know already, but our characters don't realize. And so they don't know that they don't know, right? So they're speaking in vague language or using other words, or, you know, not telling each other things, which is understandable. 1, they just met, and 2, they don't know that this thing exists, that they need to communicate it. I know that's vague, but I don't want to spoil the series. And all of that would be fine, except that we, the reader, know. So that's very frustrating, because we know the thing and it's clearly being dragged out for a reveal toward the end. Again, like, that's fine, except we know from like the very beginning. So that's frustrating. And then she just is being the worst. I'm sorry, she's being the worst. And you know what? Honestly, she annoyed me from page 1. So that might be a me problem. It might be a me problem. I just, honestly, I'm not enjoying this character at all. And then on top of that, she's like trying to run off into snowstorms and get eaten by monsters and stuff. She won't tell this dragon anything. She won't communicate, and he, you know, doesn't understand humans as well, so he's communicating as best he can, but there are like things that he assumes are obvious that she doesn't get and stuff. So it's not even like a miscommunication trope or anything. It's just this character is being the most annoying person you've ever met. And I'm so over it. I do not like being annoyed by my books. I'm reading this to have a good time. I'm reading this to, you know, have a bright spot in the day. I can have annoyance all on my own. I don't need your book to do it for me. I know that's passionate. That's a lot of passion, but I hate when books annoy me. I hate it. I would rather cry than be annoyed. So anywho, that's a wrap. So that was a surprise. I did not expect to DNF that book. And it did not. And the fact that this has been taken by a traditional publisher and the ebook is now $10 and is no longer in Kindle Unlimited in the US, and I had to place a hold on it at the library, just not worth it. Not worth it at all. And it just... Don't do it. Oh my god, I'm just so annoyed about this. I've waited, you know, since before it even came out to read this book, and it was trash. It was trash. $10 ebook. All right. I'm sorry. I hope you all feel differently about it. I hope you read and love it. I sadly did not even come close. Did not even come close to even kind of a little bit liking that book. That sucks. And I picked up Sinner's Isle by Angela Montoya, maybe? This was freaking fantastic. This book was so good. Oh my god. I inhaled this book. I have not been gripped from the beginning of a fantasy book like this in a while, in a long while. Now this is either like young adult or new adult or adult. Don't let the fact that it is like young adult-ish deter you, because I do not like young adult writing anymore. I don't like young adult books. I really don't read them at all. But this is one where, you know, I absolutely loved it. The characters are like 18 and 19, and I can see that age loving it. And I could also see a 14-year-old loving this book, it being appropriate for them. There's nothing explicit. You know, it really just is going to appeal to a wide range of ages because the writing is fantastic. The characters are so good. The banter is immaculate. There are great reveals. This is just so freaking good. It's so good. You have lots of queer characters, a great found family. You have these majestics, which are women with magic, and the church teaches that that is, you know, because of their fallen goddess and they're sinners and they need to be bought by powerful men and magically bound to them, and that will help redeem their soul. And of course, those men must pay the church a tithe. And that, you know, helps. So our majestic is 18, and so she is of age to be bound to a man, so she's at the offering, and she has this really powerful shadow magic, and because of that she is almost definitely going to be bound to the new king. There's lots of plot stuff. There's also like a very rich advisor who wants her, and then, of course, there's the pirate that washes up on shore that she just can't get enough of. They're so cute. They're so freaking cute. This book is funny. I laughed. It's sweet. It's got a great plot. It's a standalone. It works great as a standalone. It is a little bit open-ended with some of the plot stuff, but Amazon says it's a standalone, Goodreads doesn't. I'm not 100% sure, but it easily reads as a standalone. We don't get enough fantasy romances that are standalones. It's also dual POV, and that worked so well. That made the book so much better because of just the plot stuff and what each one knew. So getting both of their thoughts and their perspectives and their interactions worked really, really well. I loved it. I can't believe I got this from the library. I'm so excited that I got to read it so soon, and it's just everything that I wanted. Highly, 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 highly recommend. You're gonna love it. All right, so that was a long update. I don't know what I'm gonna read next. That's all I've got. All right, bye. Oh, also, did I say that it's latinx with queer side characters? Lots of queer rep on page. I don't know if I said that, but it is. It's great. It's great. Read it. Hello. I am getting ready to film, but I wanted to real quick pop in and say that I DNF'd a Fate of Wrath and Flames. Robin, don't freak out. Don't freak out. Don't freak out. Fate of Wrath and Flame. My library ebook was like glitched. I would get to a point and it would just be white pages and you couldn't get past that. And then if you tried to like skip ahead to like the next chapter and then come back to it, same thing. So there are like chunks of the book missing. And that happened for like the third time in chapter 3. And I was like, I can't do this. I can't keep doing this. So I returned it. I'm going to try to either get it again from the same library or maybe try to get it from a different library, but it's not going to remain in the November project fantasy romance vlog, any of that. Like, I'm not gonna try and do it again right this second. But I will say 2 chapters in, even with some things missing and stuff, so I haven't even met the love interest yet or left our world or any of those things. However, the writing is good. I can see the appeal. I would have continued if there weren't any problems, any technical problems. So I haven't even gone into any of the good stuff yet, but I can see why people would like the book. Alas, I will not know for quite some time whether I like it or not. But that's where we're at. And then I did start 3 Kings by Freydis Moon. So far, so good. I'm like barely into it. It's not very long. It's only like 120, 150, 170, I don't know, pages. It's not super long, but so far it's cozy November. It's what we want. All right, hello. I am here with a update, and I finished Three Kings by Freydis Moon. This is our world, but with magic. So they are a brujo, which would be a male witch, and they brought their husband back to life after a hurricane 3 years ago. And then they bring this Selkie back to life, which they can do because it died in its seal form and not its fae form. So they do that, and they're struggling with infertility. They have been for 3 years, basically, since bringing their husband back to life. And
Where's her arms?
I think they're hidden by the water.
You made her arms fall off?
I don't think that his arms fell off, no.
Why?
'Cause in the story he has arms.
You want to write this book?
I read that book.
You should.
That's what I'm talking about right
Get
now.
another checker.
Thank you. It was mostly sweet and cozy with a lot of infertility stuff and a lot of, you know, does my husband still want me? And what happens if we open our marriage to this fae? And it's latinx, and then they accidentally, magically, they kind of get drugged with a fertility drug.
It's like this A, B, C, D, L, A, C.
In the cake.
Now
Instead of
I
vanilla.
know my A, B, C, C.
And so
I mean,
there's that. It's fun. I gave it 4 stars. Sounds good. Read it. Got deep thoughts for you. And then I started the Phoenix King, and I am 5 chapters into this, and this is very, very, very interesting. So this is a Indian-inspired fantasy. She is the princess who's going to become the queen in the next month or so. Then we have the assassin who is from like this secret. Okay, so this has 3 POVs, and you have the princess who's set to become the queen in a month, and then you have her father, the king, and the royal family is supposed to be immune to fire basically, and she is not, and he is, and she's not. And then you also have the assassin that's part of this secret you know, order or whatever, but they know that he's the assassin. He's like defected from it, and he is friends with, he has this childhood friend who is the one that's like helping him, and his childhood friend is going to be like given an arranged marriage with the princess, right? Okay, so the princess is going to be in this arranged marriage. She's going to have this assassin as her guard, and she can't do fire. And she's also like working to undermine her father. And it's very interesting because a lot of times when you have these setups, right, the royal queen or king, whoever's in charge, it's just like a caricature of evil almost. Not only are they really bad for the country and everything, but also they like don't love their own family, right? And we have the point of view of the king, and he loves his daughter, and they are also like working against each other. And I just think it's so interesting that we have his point of view in the book, and I'm really like excited about that. I just think that that's
look, it's 6. I made 6.
Nice work. I just don't think that that's something that we get, and I'm really excited about it. So that's my, it's long. It's freaking long. 5 chapters, and then there's like 43 chapters, and it's the first book in a trilogy. But so far, I'm very intrigued. Hi, I'm here to close the log with not great results. So I DNF'd the Phoenix King at 50%. So here's the thing. This is a really good book. I really enjoyed it. The character work is great. Nobody is black and white. It's complex. Everybody has conflicting information coming in. And, you know, I'm very curious to see what the author does with it, both in the second half of the book and also in the other books in the trilogy. So I almost definitely will be picking this book back up. However, I've been avoiding reading it for days and days and days because there's a lot All right, so we have the perspective of the king, and the princess doesn't know this and the assassin doesn't know this, but the king is actively burning people alive in the hopes of preventing the prophet to return, who last time killed like thousands and millions of people. As we know, this never ever succeeds. This never succeeds. It's always the one that gets away that ends up being the prophet. And the people that you kill are always innocent. Always. So here's what I don't get. First of all, he burns this like 12-year-old girl alive. And, you know, she burns. The prophet can't burn. That's why he's burning them alive. The prophet gets burned once. They'll have a burn mark on them, but then the fire can't hurt them after that. And I think that we're going to have like some things evolving with the fire, because the princess is learning that there's 3 different types of fire that used to live in harmony and all this stuff. Okay, there's a lot going on, and I have my suspicions about what's going to be happening, right? But so he burns this 12-year-old girl alive. That was not a fun scene. And then with the priest, he just does a little match to check and see if they burn. I was like, why can't you do that for the 12-year-old? Then he kills the priest anyways. And it's interesting because he doesn't really believe in the religion, but he absolutely believes that he is damning his soul. He believes that he is committing unpardonable sins, as he should. He's doing it all for the love of his daughter and the safety of her and the kingdom coming under her rule. He really wants her, you know, they've got war on their borders. They've always had war on their borders. There's always been rebels. Like, the kingdom has never been very stable, and he is, you know, clutched on control with an iron grip and has really brilliantly manipulated a lot of things to maintain peace and control over peace, right? Peace for the royals, peace for the country, not necessarily freedom of speech or anything like that, right? So we have his perspective. We know what motivates him. We know the conflicts. We know he doesn't feel good about it. We know that he feels like it is a necessary evil, that he is, again, willing to damn himself in order to protect his daughter. And I'm not having a great time with that, you know? I'm not. I kind of like all of the characters, honestly. Even the characters that we don't have perspectives of, I don't really know where they're going to end up, you know, at the end of this series. I don't know if we're going to end up liking them or not, because they're all conflicting. There are good things and not so good things with them. Who are you lying to? Are you lying to the king? Are you lying to the assassin? Are you lying to the princess? Are you lying to yourself? You know, like, there's all these different things. I'm just not sure what she's going to do with it. But I'm just not having a great time watching people be burned alive in the name of religion. I'm not. And not even in the name of religion, more so in the name of peace. Like, I'm not having... I'm struggling through it, and like I said, I've been avoiding reading for days. I'm just like, you know, it might be time to call it quits for now. That being said, the writing is great. I'm really interested in the characters. I'm really interested in the plot. I'm just stressed. I'm just stressed about it, and I don't really want to be stressed about it right now. And I've tried, you know, pushing through, and I'm just, it's time to pull the plug. So, loving the book. I am done. The vlog is done here. We're done with this fantasy romance journey. And this really, I've tried to read other books. I've DNF'd them too, but last night I picked up a Chris and Ashley book. Stayed up till 1 o'clock in the morning reading it. Finished it this morning. Like, honestly, that's all the confirmation I needed that my reading is not broken. I just need to take a break from this book. That's what I'm going to do. So I actually need to run right now and react to Goodreads Choice Awards on Beautifully Bookish Bethany's channel. I hope I'm not late. I've been filming for 5 minutes. I think I had more time than that. All right. Thanks so much for watching. I hope that you got some sort of recommendation from this. Not quite as successful as I would have liked, but I did enjoy Three Kings and I absolutely loved Sinner's Isle. We lowered the TBR, so go me.